So let's start with your first period story. Can you paint a picture for me? Like, do you remember how old you were, where you were, who was around you, what were you wearing, what happened? Do you remember?
Yeah, at that time I was about 13, 14, around that time, because I was in the second year of high school, Belgian wise. Um, and I was living with my mom and her best friend and her daughter, so it was all women.
Oh, wow.
Um, and I remember it being like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening? And I remember like the period pads that she gave me. I was like, I'm not wearing a diaper every freaking month. Like, what is this? I'm so not comfortable with this. But yeah, we kind of like celebrated a bit, not like, a big party or something. But I remember my mom was like, okay, you're becoming a woman now. Um, so yeah, it was actually it's a pretty happy memory mixed with like all kinds of feelings like, oh my God, is it gonna happen every month? And uh, um, yeah,
Yeah.
sort of like that.
And was your mum open with you before you got your period in talking to you, or was that the first time she had the conversation with you?
I think that was the first time she had the conversation with me. We're not big conversationalists
Mhm.
per se. I don't have that good of a connection with my mom.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's not like she was perfectly open for questions if I had any, or yeah, it wasn't like, oh my God, you got your period. We're not going to talk about this. So yeah.
Yeah. And what was it like? How old was you said you were living with your mom, her best friend, and her daughter? Is that right?
Yeah,
How old was the daughter?
same age as me.
Oh, okay. Wow. And so how many years did you grow up together in that house?
Well, it was only for a short while because my mom recently had a divorce and her mom recently got out of a relationship as well. So they basically had that like this, oh my God, we're gonna go party every weekend and like relive our second youth or something. Because they were about, let me think, about 33, 34, so my age right now.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, we've known each other for a long time. But after that year, we kind of grew apart, really,
Okay.
because I chose different friends and she did too. So
And she didn't get her period at the same time as you?
not a clue, really.
Don't
If
know.
I've got to be honest, no
Yeah.
idea.
Okay. And so what was your mum's attitude towards her period, do you think?
They were pretty close, but I'm not really sure how she handled it. But they were pretty close, so I'm pretty sure they had a good connection about it.
And did you ever know when your mum was on her period?
Um, I didn't really notice it all that much because there were a lot of issues in my childhood. So basically, I kind of like shut myself off for a lot of her behaviors. So I didn't really notice when she was starting her cycle, yes or no.
And she didn't openly discuss it and tell you or things like that either?
No, she might have like made a remark about it, like complained that she had her period or something, or oh, this is so annoying. I have my period and we're going to travel or something like that. But
Yeah. And so you're the only child?
no, I have a half brother as well.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. And so how do you think your mum's attitude and your beginning of your womanhood like shaped your journey with your period into your teenage
Well,
years, into your 20s?
well, I'm not really sure. Like, I did start taking the pill pretty early
Mhm.
because I had a boyfriend, so I think I was like 15 or 16 when I started taking the pill. So my relationship with my period has actually been a little bit controlled. Like it was just there and it was annoying. And I preferred not to have it so I could just keep having sex without constrictions, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't like this big openly female mom-daughter connection about it or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. And then how did you see your mom do nice things for herself? Did you see her, like, was she able to rest and be kind to herself and be gentle and take those times?
My mom? No.
No.
No, she's actually on a pill right now, or was, because I think she hit menopause not too long ago. That actually just like skipped your period. And she was all like, I had a conversation with her a while ago because I was talking about my copper IUD and wanting to remove it. And she was like, oh, I'm on this pill. It's great. You don't have your period at all.
Mm.
So did she connect to her cycle? I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Okay. And so I was asking you, does, even if she's not on a period, like, is she gentle with herself? Is she kind to herself? Is she able to take rest when she wants to take rest, do you think? Or is she like
No.
go, 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 go? Yeah, that's
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
she's go, go, go for sure. Yeah.
And do you think that her actions have influenced you with the busyness, with the masculine? Do you think that has?
Yeah. Yeah, one of my mom's biggest things that she would always say, like, you have to see work. There's always something to do. You have to see it for yourself, especially in like professional life. Make sure that you do the work before they tell you to do it.
Mm,
So, yeah, and she's always keeping busy because there's a lot of buried emotions that she doesn't want to connect to. So, for her, it's easier staying busy, cleaning the house, making food, working, taking care of other people. So,
yeah.
yeah, that totally reflected on me for a long time.
Yeah. So like, and when was the change in you? What happened?
I left for a trip to New Zealand, and that was actually the first time in the 8 years that I was working at IKEA that I actually took a really long break, because I usually didn't even take up all of my vacation days. And when I did, it was to go to festivals, so it's not really to chill out. It was more to like just escape from reality and just, because I needed that. And it was always working, partying, working, partying, working, partying. And then when I came back from New Zealand, I had another summer full of festivals because they were planned already. And when I actually went back to work for a while, I felt that this wasn't for me anymore. And then I went to a job coach and I told her my story, and she was like, you're going to the doctor right now because you need to take a fucking break. Like, seriously, you are so stressed out. So I took that break thinking that it would be better. And I went back to work and I basically got a panic attack from being there, from just feeling that my body was telling me like, no, this is done for you.
And so
And then
how old were you then?
so yeah, that must have been, let me think, 28, 29. Yeah,
Right.
4 years ago. Well, yeah, 4 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I came back in 2018. Yeah, 4 years ago, give or
Yeah.
take.
Yeah. So keep going. So you had the, yeah, keep going. You had the panic attack, and then your body's telling you no. And
Yeah,
then,
so I went back to the doctor and he was like, yeah, you're officially on a burnout right now. So I stayed home for a pretty long time, I think like half a year. And the
wow.
first month was basically sleeping, resting. I was really grateful that I started on my spiritual path just like a little bit so I could, you know, try and discover that a bit more instead of going back to where I came from.
Mm.
And for me, that was basically the first time in my life that I actually connected to my body, my emotions.
Mm.
So yeah, that was the big wake up call for sure.
Yeah. And have you looked at your astrology chart? Because that sounds like smack bang on your Saturn return. You know, it happens around every 28, 29, 30 years that you get that wake up call, whether it's positive or negative, and it pushes you maybe in a new direction of where you're supposed to be aligned. So, yeah, have you looked into that?
I'm not really that at home in astrology, and
Okay.
I kind of follow a different kind of astrology as well,
Okay,
which
tell
is
me.
like sidereal astrology, which doesn't look at the sky, or like, in standard astrology, you've got like every star sign has got its equal part in the sky, but in reality, that's not true.
Right.
And in reality, there's actually a 13th one, which is supposed to be me. I think it's between Capricorn and Sagittarius or something. I'm not really sure. And it's called Ophiuchus, which is the wounded healer, which kind of makes sense for me because Sagittarius is like the free-spirited, philosophical adventure. And for me, that's like, yeah, on my high days, I might embody that. But for me, it made more sense, the wounded healer, because it's basically, the legend says that he tried to cure himself in his life from a wound. I'm not really sure which one. And he ended up learning so much about healing that he started to heal others, but was never able to heal himself.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Interesting. And who was looking after you when you had that like half a year just sleeping all the time?
Well, I was living with my roommate who actually got into the burnout. She was working at the same company, by the way,
Mm.
um, a while before me. And I was just like, what? Burnout from work? I don't get it. And then, yeah, well, so we basically were like in the same boat. So we kind of took care of each other just by saying, like, you're not feeling it today. That's okay. And if you want to talk about it, but taking care of me, not really. I mean,
Mm.
yeah, it was basically me. I do feel like it's been me for the most of my life. But
Yeah.
that's also a bit of my stubbornness and not allowing me to be taken care of. So,
Yeah. And from that experience, can you really take care of yourself now? Like you're really like honed into what you need at every moment and how to nurture
I'm
yourself?
I'm getting better at it for sure. I'm still not completely there because sometimes I still go into overdrive. But then now I realize, like, okay, I've got this week planned full. I'm gonna take today and just do fuck all and just be with myself and take a rest. Not always in the most positive ways because it's like watching TV and eating junk food, so it's not the best. But it's just what I need. So.
But when are you eating junk food and watching TV? What phase of your cycle are you doing that? Have you ever observed that?
Yeah, mostly my PMS
Yeah,
phase.
yeah,
That's the worst for sure.
yeah,
Because people are like, yeah, when I'm on my period, I'm like, when I'm on my period, I'm actually pretty good. Like, I feel when they arrive, it's like, okay, they're here and they're not that painful. So it's just, for me, it's just like, it feels more like a cleansing. Like, that's usually a time when I start a new diet for the gajillionth time.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, PMS phase for sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. And tell me about how was your mom feminine? What you saw, what you observed in her.
Hmm. Tough question because her masculine side is pretty up there.
It's high. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Um, she's not really that receptive. Emotions don't get shown unless she's drunk. Always working. Yeah. Not really in touch with her cycle because, she took the contraception to actually get rid of it.
Mm.
And her sexual side was usually just like a reaction to what she experienced in her childhood. So, yeah, not that great.
And how do you think that disconnection of her feminine side has shaped your femininity?
Completely the same, because at a certain time in my life I was like, oh, I'm turning into my mom.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, for sure. For me, that's just been like the past couple of years when I've really taken my distance from her and was trying to find my own path, that actually just like became a bigger part of my life. um and I'm still struggling with it, like still when I'm doing good, I'm still like do and like force things to happen, and I'm learning lately to like accept, receive. So yeah, it's still a big struggle for me, for sure.
Yeah. And if we say that femininity, like some words that come to me could be like intuitive, creative, vulnerable, open, nurturing, cooperative, you said receiving, flowing. If I say some of those words, can you tell me, like in your everyday environment, like about where your personality is in relation to that? What your environment is in relation to that, what activities that you do that's in relation to that. Can we explore that?
Yeah, well, flow, it's definitely for me my hula hoop classes lately.
Okay.
um So yeah, I've always like been into dancing for sure, but I've always wanted to learn the hula hoop as well. And basically, our class is just like an hour of you like flowing, and the teacher is like, "Oh, have you tried that? Oh, maybe you should try that." But just like lets us play. Um, and yeah, dancing as well, still in my daily life. Like yesterday, I was working, and I was like, "Oh my God, I don't want to go back to I've done work. I feel bad. I want to go watch TV." And I was just like, nope, put on some music and just dance.
Very good.
Um, and learning to listen to the flow a bit more instead of planning every activity every day. Just like, okay, there's certain things I have to do today, but in between, I'm just gonna feel into what I feel like doing. Like,
Mhm.
what do I want to study, or what do I want to, maybe I want to go for a walk. Like yesterday evening, I was like, okay, this would be the time I would sit myself in front of my TV. Fuck that, I'm going for a walk in the park and taking my hula hoop. um Creativity is, it's okay. I used to draw and write a bit more than I do now.
Mhm.
So that comes in phases. Then
But your
vol-
dancing is an expression of your creativity. When you can tap into the inside of what you're feeling and put that to movement, like just that, as simply as it is creative. Your videos at the moment are like in everyday life, there's so much creativity that we do, and it's not just like painting and drawing, like in everything. Yeah.
yeah, and vulnerability. I do have a couple close friends that we're just like, oh, I'm just like not feeling it today, man. Oof," and just throw it all out there, and are like really honest about where we are in life. And we're supposed to meet up together, but they're just like, no, man, I'm too tired. Like, I'm just feeling all of this, and I can't handle it right now. Um, I used to be the one that everybody went to when they needed advice. And now lately I'm learning to accept, like, okay, I can be vulnerable too. I can, be open about how I'm feeling, or just be like, nah, man, not today. And stop being so strong, and receive, well, yeah, just stop being the strong one that can handle everything on her own.
Mhm. Yeah. Wow, they were amazing observations about yourself. I loved hearing them. Yeah. And can I ask you, like, do you have any dreams to, like, I'm not sure if you're in a relationship, but do you have dreams of finding, a long-term partner or marriage or having children? Yeah,
Yeah,
what's your thoughts on that?
long-term partner for sure. I've been single for like a long time,
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
like 6 or 7 years now. There were like some moments that I reconnected with my ex, or that I would have like a casual relationship thing that got out of hand, but I would never be like, okay, this is my partner right now.
Mhm.
So yeah, I've been kind of manifesting that I will meet my dream partner at Boom Festival this summer.
When's that
But
coming up?
yeah,
That must be soon, like July.
yeah, yep, in about 3 weeks.
Okay, we'll keep setting that intention. Keep like focusing on that.
Yeah. Marriage, I've never been a big fan because I saw my mom get married 3 times. So
Oh,
the kind of wonder and spectacular thing that is marriage kind of like got lost on me. But then again, I saw my half brother get married last summer, and then it was like, okay, yeah, it's something.
yeah.
But then I would rather have like a big party instead of like make it into a very conservative marriage kind of thing.
Mhm.
Children, I've never wanted them.
Mhm.
I was always like, nope, like just no. But lately I was talking about it with a friend actually a couple days ago, just like, if we do meet the guy, that is like, okay, I really, really want to have children, then we might consider it. Like the door has been set ajar.
Wow. Yeah. And what do you think has turned what to change your attitude there? And is that just recently, or that's been a few years, or?
Mm, yeah, I think the last year. Think for me it was living by myself for the first time, because I've always lived with boyfriends or friends of mine, and this is like the first time I'm actually living alone for a year now.
Oh, okay.
And also my brother's wife's pregnant. She's due to give birth like any day now.
Oh, wow.
um,
So you got a
so that
close
kind of,
relationship there, like you're hanging out and going to be there for the birth of the baby and going to be over
I
there.
really want to be there because she's doing a home birth, and I was like, I really want to be there, but then again, it's also a very private occasion, so I'm not sure if well, I talked to her about it and she's like, I'm gonna get back to you, but she hasn't. But that's okay. But yeah, I want to be there for the baby in general. Like I want to be the cool aunt.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. And how
But
many
yeah.
children would you want?
Oh, just one.
Just one? Yeah. Oh,
Just
and we're
one.
going, and so you've been, your brother got married, is having a baby. So that was a bit of the turning point that opened the door to having children.
Yeah, a bit. And also just me finding more peace in my life, because before I was always like, dude, the way I'm handling my life, I'm not, no, I'm not fit to raise a child.
Yeah.
Um, but then again, I am a very nurturing person. Like I've always taken care of my friends, and like I like taking care of people.
Mm.
So yeah, but in the past that was always like at a cost to myself, and now I'm learning to balance that a little bit more.
Yeah.
So that's also been a big influence.
Hmm. Yeah. And what has this year given you by yourself?
Well, I've learned that in the past, I always thought that living with somebody was like cramping my style because I didn't have the freedom to do what I want. But it's also shown me that I was actually not being a better person, but like sticking to my healthy habits a lot more, because I was actually trying to prove something to someone.
Yeah.
Because like my friend would be in the couch eating chocolate and doing nothing all day, and I was like, I just exercised and had like a really good meal, nah, 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 nah. Maybe trying to inspire her, but mostly just like, yeah. And this year for me, it's been a lot of lows, like I said, just like being in the couch and just, yeah, not really doing much, and but also rediscovering how angry I am with myself for doing these things, and that there's a lot of anger and sadness that I have tapped into, and I've done a lot of transformational work as well, connecting more to the trauma of my inner child, my teenage years.
Mm.
Like there was this space for that as well. So yeah, it's been a lot of But I'm really happy being by myself. I have noticed that because a lot of people are like, oh, I live by myself and I feel so alone. And I'm like, dude, if I want to, I can do stuff every day with friends, or they would visit me if I would ask them. But a lot of the days I just like close my door and everyone's just leave me the fuck alone, people.
Yeah, yeah. And do you think you're getting your house in order? Like, I mean, your spiritual house, your emotional house from this experience to be able to then attract, you know, your partner into your life and possibly a family? Do you think that's where you're at in life?
Yeah, I think so. Because in the past, like I used to have like not at the same time, but multiple sexual partners, and getting rid of the anti-conception definitely fixed a lot of that. And I've been getting more in touch with my womb, doing a lot of clearing there. And I feel like I've made space for a lot of sadness to come up, but also made space to like go into a more pure connection with somebody. And in the past, I was always like, no, I don't want a steady relationship. Like, I can't handle that. And I'm just like, yeah, that is what I want. Like, I want the tenderness and the intimacy and the working and then the fighting and everything. Like, I feel like I'm definitely more centered for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, what an amazing journey you've been on, especially since 28. Like, it's really, you know, shaking you up, and now you spent a whole year by yourself. That's, yeah, incredible. And with all this work that you're doing on your feminine, and like, you know, the feminine, when you're in your femininity, you can really start attracting the masculine. And with the masculine, that might mean not only a relationship, but it could be like the masculine of outer world success, you know, of tangible things. So if I was to ask you, like, what would you want to attract with your feminine attraction? What would you say to that? What would it be right now where you are?
Well, changing jobs for sure,
Okay.
because I've been stuck in this thing for a long time. Um, and expanding my business. Not really like go full independent on that yet, because financially in Belgium, that's just, yeah, really hard.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, having it be more of a steady part of my life instead of like a client here and there and then a week nothing. Um, and actually daring to show myself as a healer. Um, yeah, and attracting more opportunities to show myself, and actually dare to do that as well.
Mhm.
There's been like little things, like I'm doing a shift a week now at a wellness center doing massages. I'm applying for an online international coaching app.
Yeah.
And I just got the confirmation that by the end of September, I can participate as a healer in a women's festival here in Belgium.
Wow, that's exciting. It's all it's starting to move. You're
Yeah,
gonna be out of that winter cocoon, and yeah, it's gonna shift. Yeah, that's so exciting.
yeah. And I forget about that at times. I'm just like, I've done nothing all week. But then when I look back, I'm like, okay, I've done that. So
Yeah, we all want it now. Now, now, now. I want everything now. Yeah. Yeah. Keep focusing on it. Yeah, just do a little bit, even if it's just a little bit every day to do, like, take action on what you want. You know, it just all builds up and accumulates over time. So then, yeah, you're ready. And you don't know what steps are preparing you for your next step either, as well,
mhm.
to get you ready.
This is the Alexa, Where is My Period 28-day challenge.